already.
We're just gonna roll with it, man.
Okay, let's roll.
We are going to roll with it. Well, guys, sorry that you didn't get the intro. We've been sitting here talking. So yeah, forgive our faulty startup, and also we weren't here last week. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit down the road. So, Chief Greg, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
You know, I personally, I guess I'm doing well. But professionally, I'm doing kind of poor.
why,
I am
why you said that, sir?
because I have a small group of people running amok in my township, stealing vehicles, damaging vehicles. Um, it's a little bit disheartening right now because these victims have done nothing but park their vehicle in the driveway, go in the house to enjoy their day, only to come out to go to work in the morning and find out their vehicle's no longer there, or somebody broke into it and stole whatever they may have had in it.
Yes. And we're gonna be talking. This show is gonna be primarily really talking about that. Because we've been having a rash of them in the 49022, um, stolen vehicles and car burglaries. So let's start out with because we were just talking all, and that's why I'm kind of discombobulated. So me personally, when I was a detective, everyone kind of has an interest, like police officers. Some people like drugs. Some people want to be a canine officer. Some people want to do X, Y, and Z. But there's very few of us that are really interested in property crimes. They're necessary evil. So, for
Mhm.
example, for me, I'm a property crime guy. I love property crimes. When I say I love them, from the standpoint of investigating them, because I find it as the ultimate worst offense for somebody to be violated. So, to me, somebody violating your home as a home invasion, a burglary, or violating your car. This is just my mind, Chief. So I'm not saying this is everyone else how you should think. It's no different if they violated you personally. So I take thefts of people's hard earned, hard work belongings, what they own. They get their house painted, all that stuff gets ruined, and then you get victimized and by the burglary, and it's not fair. So that drives me nuts. Again, for me, I can, I've done drugs before as a detective in my career. Drugs doesn't turn me on like property crimes do. So with that being said, when I look at what we got going on, which we're going to talk about here in some detail, it really, really flusters me, which is why I messed up the intro to our show today.
That's all right.
But
We still here.
yeah, man, I just can't. And I'm reading through here, and again, I don't want to kind of put the cart before the horse. We're talking about today, Ben Harbor, the rash of car burglaries that we have experienced in Ben Harbor and Ben Township, and also rash of stolen vehicles. It's an issue, and it fluctuates. It goes up and down, but it's right now is going up and down. Where if we say it's down, but the numbers are still way up.
Right.
So I'll let you. I'm going to finish some up here real quick, Chief. But what are your thoughts? I think we're similar, boss, because we take it personally when our people are violated. At least,
I agree. And you know, I'm this. I'm the same as you. I mirror you I mirror you with the same statement you just made. Property crimes for me are challenging. Just like arson fires are, like an arson is very hard to prove,
oh yeah,
just based on the evidence that you can collect and that will lead to a suspect. A lot of the property crimes are hard to prove too, which made it easier for me to want to become an expert in evidence recovery. And what I mean by that is property crimes made me a better evidence tech because now I'm
yes,
looking for the fingerprint that I'm going to lift. I'm looking for the DNA that I'm going to lift and send to the lab to wait. I was able to solve several B&Es and car thefts and car B&Es as well as home just from DNA swabs and fingerprints. it's a challenge to me, and it's like a puzzle, so it makes it fun. So I like to take my time, and I got a huge kit. I mean, it's got everything in it, and these are the things. Though I might not get immediate results, somewhere down the line, I'm gonna get a hit on my DNA or a hit on my fingerprint, which is going to lead me to a suspect and lead me to an arrest. So yeah, I feel the same as you do. I've been a victim of having my car going through as well. I live in the Fairplain area. I think 2 years ago, I come outside and then I had left my door unlocked. You know, when we had this rash of stuff going on, and of course I keep nothing of value in there. They just went through the glove compartment and just ransacked some paperwork and kept going. You know,
So
so I've been a victim of the same situation as a lot of our citizens have, and yeah, it's just it irks me that we have to go through this every year.
so Chief, so kind of funny story on that. So I also many years ago. This is even before I was a police officer. My car, I came down and visit my dad. We live over on Union, and my car was broken into overnight. And I did a report, and subsequently, so when I became a police officer, and I don't know if you remember Radio Greg.
Of course,
Of course you do.
yeah,
So Radio, this what we here have going on right now is reminiscent of Radio Greg.
yes,
Radio Greg, who actually is a great guy, actually,
he is.
he's a great guy. He's changed his life. He was on drugs, which is why he did what he did. And Chief, this goes back to what we talked about, I think, a show or two ago about just because people get in trouble or get on drugs, don't make them bad people.
Right.
So Radio Greg and I actually became friends because I put him in prison twice because I caught him. Actually, I prosecuted him for breaking into vehicles. And ironically, when I when I look back at it, my car was a Radio Greg burglary.
Was it really?
Yeah.
You try to sell your own stuff back to you?
So so anyway, even let's look at Radio Greg because I know Radio Greg was like, if I could do anything to help anybody not be victimized like I did him, he was prolific. Now we're not saying the numbers that the Radio Greg numbers,
Hmm.
um, but he was hitting for us, Greg. He was hitting anywhere from 6 to 10 vehicles a night, not week, a night.
Hmm.
So he kind of became at one point kind of public enemy number one. So now flash forward, 20 some odd years later, I believe, and again, I take this personally. I think we're in a similar situation. The characters of this change. It's not Radio Greg and Radio Greg's MO, but now what we're seeing is a group. These are all predominantly 99% young people, juveniles that are breaking into these cars and stealing them. So that is an issue that we have been seeing. We have been dealing with, and I got some numbers which are kind of shocking that I don't have any problem sharing. I want to talk through some things because we, in addition to patrolling, in addition to kind of getting out and stopping and frisking and seeing people out late at night, there's other portions of the investigation, intel, running the data, gleaning what we can find, and there's some things of course, I've uncovered already. So um, that's kind of where we are. We have. It's almost like Chief. Let me. Right now, I think we having a conversation. Other people just be happen to just have the opportunity to sit in and listen on.
Hmm.
But my goodness, Chief Abrams, when it's hot, if we're not getting smacked with shootings and drive-bys, we got stolen vehicles. And I think you said something when we started before we went on, like, man, I'm doing good, but not so good. Because ultimately, every time there's a car stolen or a house shot up, that's a victim, and oftentimes people don't understand. So let me go back again. This might be the beginner's ramble day, Chief. You can jump in like in church. We got the bell, ring the bell. Do this. I get it. Shut up and pass the mic.
No, no, go ahead.
But it's like, oh my goodness, it's people should be able to live in their homes and not be able to have to deal with this. So, when somebody's, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, Chief, and I'll pass it back to you. When somebody's car gets stolen or burglarized, and we're gonna talk about some ways to protect yourself as we go on in this show, but you have to understand it's not just one person being burglarized. What do you mean by that, McGinnis? So if you got a single mom, so now I'm making myself matter because I got a heart for single mothers. I was
Hmm.
raised by a single mom. You make their lives harder when you break into their darn houses and their cars.
That's right.
Anyway, you got a single mom who every day takes her kids to school or takes them to a bus stop, and then needs to go to work. So it's not just one person that gets victimized, a whole family does. Now mom got to call into work. Well, maybe she got points at work. You know, maybe for whatever reason, things happen, but now she's in trouble because now something she's been burglarized and victimized. She can't get to work on time. She can get to work at all, and then she might get in trouble at work. Kids maybe can't get to school on time, or they can't go to school at all because mommy car gone. So now what do you do? So now, okay, maybe I go rent a car. Maybe I got insurance. Well, how the heck do I get to the car rental place? So by the time you take care of all these things, canceling cards, canceling this, closing this account, school time's over. So now, not only, I mean, we don't think about it like this, Greg. Not only have the person victimized for that day, you got children who may have missed a whole day of work. So now they're behind. So we don't think about victimization as far as the broad scope of how it affects everybody and even the small things of literally missing school assignments because we got some jackleg jokers out there that are hedonistic and want the pleasure and want to enjoy themselves at the expense of God-fearing working people simply living at home trying to take care of their families. I'm gonna stop right there, Greg. I am.
No, I know what you mean. Your passion shows, and I get it because I'm sitting here thinking about, you know, like I told you about my mom still lives in the area, and it would, and she's in her 80s. She still drives herself to the doctor's office. I would be so pissed, and she would be so just distraught and upset if somebody broke in her car, stole it, or did whatever, knowing that she had to make it to the hospital or to the doctor to get a test that she probably can't get rescheduled for six
Man,
months because she missed that test.
thank you.
That would anger me. Uh, I'm telling you I can't put words on how I would feel. I probably was shouting and screaming in the middle of the street right in front of her house. You know, this is what you want to do. Bring it on. We're gonna take care of you. That's what I would do. And it just hurts my heart that so many families are being put in this predicament. You know, I mean, and just think things are already high, so now you got to call your insurance company. I mean, we could go on and on
Oh,
about how many problems this can cause a family just because you decided you want something somebody else got because you can't work for yours, so you're gonna go take somebody else's.
hmm absolutely. So, Greg, Chief, let me give you. So, you just made a good point, and hopefully, I want to show. So, to me, the devil's in the details. I don't have many talents. I can't sing. I can't dance. I'm not a particularly great speaker. I talk fast. But I can see detail in a lot of things. Um, so let's just say hypothetically, I don't think anyone listening here is saying, "Well, that's not my problem. I don't care." But hypothetically, let's just say, for the sake of argument, somebody says, "Well, you know what? I don't live there. It doesn't affect me," or "I don't live where they're talking about an area that's hot. It doesn't affect me." Well, it does, and here's why. This affects. Although your car has not been broken into or your house hasn't been broken into, we ain't even talked about home invasions. When when cars are stolen, when cars are burglarized, when homes are burglarized, and you file insurance claims, we all know insurance is going up.
Yes.
So, on one hand, Chief Abrams, we work very hard to get our ISO rating down. What is that? So, what an ISO rating is, I don't remember what it stands for, but every community has and it's from the insurance companies, has an ISO rating, and the lower your number is, the your ISO rating, the better they look at your community as far as fire protection and police protection, mainly fire protection. So insurance rates in the community are based on the ISO rating. So guys, follow me here. It's complicated, it's boring, but it affects your insurance. So when we have, they break down ISO ratings by municipalities and jurisdictions. That's why, for example, insurance in Benton Harbor will be way higher than insurance in St. Joe or somewhere else in the county or state based on the ISO rating. So although a person's car hadn't physically been broken into, the fact that other ones have, and they've filed insurance complaints, which raises their rates. So we worked very hard, Ben Harbor. We actually have a very good ISO rating. We got it down. I want to say we got down to 4. We think we can get down to a 3 or a 2 the next time, which is very, very good. So the work that we're doing, Chief, to protect the streets and protect the people and get our ISO rating down, because we know when the ISO rating comes down, their insurance premiums should also come down. However, now everyone in the 49022 was victimized when the handful of people put in their insurance claim, because now that nullifies the fact that we worked hard to reduce our ISO rating, which will reduce the price of insurance, and basically it cancels itself out. So although your car or house may not have been gotten broken into, you are still technically victimized when you get your next renewal. And those are the things that people don't think about, Chief.
Well, just so you know, I'm a victim of that because out of nowhere, my insurance jumped up almost $500 a year, more a year. Yeah. $500. I called the insurance company. I won't call the name of them. And I was like, why did my insurance jump up a whole $500 a year on the vehicles I've been insured with you, for several years? She told me that we are a high risk area now. That's what she told me. And I'm sitting there thinking, I have not filed a claim with this company. Probably, I don't think I've ever filed a claim with them. Been with the same company probably for 15, 20 years. Ever. But because of that ISO rating that you just spoke about, my insurance went up $500 a year a month. So I had to make some changes with my insurance on my vehicles and all the other stuff that I was insuring because of that situation.
Our church insurance, the insurance for our church jumped up $700. We never put through no claim. So yes, that's a perfect example, Chief, of what I'm talking about. It's absolutely astronomical. So yeah, it's a problem. I got some things we want to share. Chief, we were talking about some things. For you see a seasonality in it. And I appreciate you guys did a Facebook post from Benton Township Police and tagged us. And maybe we can start a discussion of how to help protect yourself from this. It says the Benton Township Police Department and the Benton Harbor Department of Public Safety are once again seeing an increase in stolen vehicles, as well as contents being stolen from within vehicles. Please take valuables out of your cars. Remember to lock your car doors. Oh my God, we're going to talk about that. We're asking if you see something suspicious to please call Marion County Central Dispatch at 983-3060 or 911, and then you have a nice meme of take your keys, remove your valuables, lock your vehicles. That's a great post, Chief. I'll let you start talking about how do we help protect ourselves, and then we can jump into some stats.
Well, that post pretty much says it all. I know we get in a hurry sometimes and we don't think about things like locking our doors, taking out expensive items that we may leave in there. But the holidays are coming up, and you know good and well, so are the thieves. And the best way we can protect ourselves is to be vigilant about how we go about our day to day. Just understand that when the bad guy comes by and looks in your vehicle and sees something of value, whether he wants your car or not, he's going to figure out a way to get into it to get that valuable item out, and you'll be left without. So we just need everybody to remember, as the season goes along, we don't need more of these situations that I have stats for as well. Just be mindful No area is off limits. It's not just 49022. I'm sure 49085 got some of the same issues in their
Yep.
communities. This is countrywide. Um, so I'm sure that everybody knows we try to preach this every year, and it's for a reason. We don't mean to be recorders, but we see the stats, we read the reports, we see the reason why the person car was burglarized because of something they did or didn't do. So being vigilant, calling the police, see something, say something.
Yes.
Take some pictures if you can. Send recordings from your doorbell cam to the police department if you see something going on where we can maybe identify a suspect. All these things can help us get these guys arrested, prosecuted. We think, Chief?
I totally agree. So you mentioned something. Let me just for I know we're not mainly speaking about the home invasions, but you made a good point. So I wanna let's just talk about houses very quickly. How to protect your house. So one of the things when I was a detective, when I was on the road, again I used to love the property crimes because I'm gonna get you. And actually I had kind of great success. Remember Dirty Bird?
Yep. Yes, I do.
Got him too. So anyway, yeah, I'll get you. So with your house, Benton Harbor residents, I'm talking about all. Remember, we won Benton Harbor. This is all of 49, not just the township. This is all of us to protect your house. A couple things you could do. One is this. We're talking about your house right now. Um, One of the things you want to do, if you can, make sure it's well lit. If and here's the thing, and these things aren't as expensive anymore as they were. But if you can get motion lights on your front door, in your driveway, especially when you hit the edge from the sidewalk down to whatever the back of your driveway is, that's greatly helpful. Oftentimes, people in Benton Harbor don't have motion lights in their driveway or on their homes. So if you can, light it up as best as you can. Unfortunately, and there's not really a huge increase in energy costs, but maybe there might be some. But unfortunately, that's where we are. But I would submit to you that your savings or your spending and energy costs will definitely by far outweigh your cost if you were burglarized or experienced a theft. All right, experience a theft. So make sure you got that. Other thing is, I've seen people make the mistake of do not put something directly under your window, i.e., your kitchen window or bedroom window. For example, trash cans. You don't put a trash can directly under a window because I've had so many break-ins where people would use a trash can or maybe a bucket and step up into that window. So make sure that you don't have trash cans there. If you can have bushes and shrubs all around your house, especially under windows. And here's the thing that people don't think about. If you don't have shrubs and you want to get some with thorns. Put some
Yeah.
thorns underneath your window. So that helps because now somebody's going to be trying to dig through thorns, getting the arms and hands all cut up. Um, as far as your doors, if you can get a doorbell with a camera or some type of camera at your front door or at your points of entry, and especially on your driveway, that will be greatly helpful. And again, make sure you have operating door locks on your fronts and back doors. So that's those ways that keep your house from being attractive. So one of the things we have to consider is one of the things we got a police chief. You should be asking. We should be able to tell you. All right, what is our theory on crime control? So for me personally, what I believe is what helps with crime control is decreasing victimization. Decreasing victimization. What does that mean? What that means is we teach our public uh, different ways and techniques to protect themselves so they aren't victimized. So it's called victimization. How to reduce victimization. So these are some things we're talking about right now. So so what I just told you would help reduce the likelihood of victimization because now you got a well lit front door, a well lit driveway, or you got the motion sensors when somebody walks in. I'm telling you, when that light pops on, it'll startle you and you'll take off. And a lot of times when your light pops on, you'll see it. So those are ways to kind of to lessen the likelihood that you might be victimized by some type of a burglar or thief. So that's just for your house. Now let's walk out into the driveway. So, Chief Abrams, oh, this is where it's tough. So I ran
Yeah.
statistics. We're statistics. You got yours, I got mine. Just since October 1st until today, and y'all please spread this video around, y'all on here. And we get more people to see us after the show than during the show, but spread this is very, very important. But since October 1st until today, we as Ben Harbor City have experienced 24 vehicle burglaries. That's somebody breaking into a car, stealing something out, or trying to. And we've also experienced 15 stolen vehicles. Some of those are recovered. Our state doesn't do a great job of separating out file classes, stolen versus recovered. There's both. But 15 of those. And, for the sake of time, not to bore you, I won't get into all the details of the stats. But for us, Chief, we're saying they're kind of everywhere because we have, but predominantly on the south side. So, for example, 1200 block of Jennings, 1000 block of McAllister, 349 Empire, which is, of course, same area. We see Parker Street, 1000 block of Union. We got some on the north side also, not as many, but Columbus Street, 500 block. So when I look at this, when I look at stats, and I see, okay, I got the 500 block of Columbus, I got the 500 block of McAllister, I got the 100 block of Britain. What's that tell us, Chief?
We get that tells somebody's operating. We got a small group operating in that area that's going to probably keep hitting in that same area over
Exactly.
and over.
So one of the things we look at, boys and girls in 49022 land, is do we have groupings? And I don't want to say too much because we're going to catch these people. And here's oh my God, Chief. Again, I don't want to. I've woosah down. I don't want to. I don't want to anger myself further. But here's the thing: Ben Harbor know this. We're catching some of these people, but they're juveniles. So either we can't lodge them, or they won't lodge them, and we got to release them back out. Well, what message does that, Greg? I'm getting mad. So I'm gonna turn back over to you. What message does it send? We catch you in the act of stealing a vehicle or possessing a stolen vehicle. We try to lodge you. Juvenile center says no. Or when we do charges, it's usually like handhold and hugs. So what message does that send to these young burglars and car thieves? What message, Greg?
We're not held accountable. We're not accountable. We can do as much as we want, when we want, how we want, and we won't have to worry about anything until we become adults. That's the message that's being sent.
That's the message that's being sent. So, Ben Harper, when you get mad and be talking about social justice, this ain't about no black cop, white cop. This is about how our community is treated by the justice system, period. I've said that before. As you know, I've had a war with one of the judges, but we need to be considered and treated equally in the 49022. If this was 49085 and Chief, I would respectfully, and I love you, disagree with you, because this wouldn't happen in the 49085. And if it did, it'd be a 3-alarm fire. And it would.
Yeah.
See, I'm about to get in trouble.
Yeah. It's the truth. We get treated differently, than other areas. It's always been said. I hear it ring it rings true all the time to me, and I don't know what's going to change it. I don't have that. That's one of the things. I don't have that answer. What can we do
Yeah.
to make that change? We try to vote, and we try to vote the right person in the office, hoping they'll, live up to their word of we're going to do this and do that, only to be failed again. So it's like, where do we turn? Who do we go to see that justice is served, and our community can be safe?
See, back in the day, Chief Abrams, the answer to your question was CHURCH was when it took on that mantle. So now I'm saying I issue out the challenges to the churches and pastors. You see some of the things that's happening in our community, step up and help us out. You see how we get treated over there at certain areas. We'll just say, uh, step up and help us out. I know for a fact Pastor McAfee goes through courts. He talks to people. He's one of them guys on the front line. He can't do it by himself.
Right.
We need everybody. So do I sound like
And like
angry
you
black
said
man
before,
today?
you said before, we cannot arrest ourselves out of these problems.
Correct.
Somebody has to help us out to get these things accomplished.
Correct. So for us, and I'll let you talk about your numbers, Chief. For us, from October to now, we had those 24. I'm sorry, the 24 vehicle theft, burglaries and the 15 thefts. Man, I don't even want to tell you what the number is from January 1st till now.
Oh yeah, we won't go there. It almost like we ain't doing our job.
It's almost like we're not doing our job.
Right. Yeah, we'll leave that alone for right now.
Yeah, and we are, because we got great guys. We're catching these
Yeah,
guys.
we are.
So anyway, go
Matter
ahead,
of fact,
Chief.
I got one I'll read to you in a minute. But for me, the places that have been hit have been Country View. What's some of the other street? Madeline, Pipestone, Fairplain area, and most of these have been attempted UDAAs. And here's the thing: it's not just Hondas and Kias. I have Mercedes Benz. I
Mm-hmm.
do have a Dodge Journey, a Hyundai Elantra, a Chrysler 300 that was recovered and stolen, a Jeep Cherokee. So it's like now no vehicle is off limits. Now it's
Right,
like they're going for all vehicles now.
right. That is exactly it. That is
But
exactly it.
from from October to now, November 14th, 2024, um, we've had a combination of 81 complaints regarding MDOP to vehicles, meaning damage to vehicles or vehicles stolen, um, or larceny from vehicles or B&Es, however you want to put that. But we've had 81 total complaints as of today, just from October to November 14th. So I'm sure the numbers, if I go back, the numbers will be much higher.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, don't do that. Let's not go back.
No,
So,
no, we won't go back.
because we will fix this. I've already been on the phone. You see, when you came on, I was in the meeting with the sergeant, wasn't
Yes, you were
I?
trying to figure out how
So,
we can, like, how is this happening? We need to fix this.
hmm and let me say this. And you said something. And I'm glad you said that, Chief. It make it look like we're not doing our job. This is being transparent. We are, because again, we're catching them. When I say we're catching them on both sides. Ben Harbor, Benton Township. There's times where we get there. By the time you call dispatch, that's Lord, a whole nother thing. By the time you call dispatch and go through the half an hour question and answer session before they dispatch it out to us, they gone. And
GOA.
I know for a fact, Chief Abrams, that you have gotten earfuls from citizens who are angry that took so long for the officer to get there, or the officer didn't come at all. And when you go and look at the dispatch comments, it was 9 minutes of question and answer, and we get there within anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute and a half when we finally get it. So it's like, okay, I know when this central dispatch call taker slash person who actually dispatches us, but part of the issue, this is kind of a systemic thing, and I like to first sit down and talk both sides. Me, you, our detectives, dispatch, on can we speed up dispatching the officer?
Right,
By the time people are like, well, you see in the comments, well, they were not cooperative. Well, I mean, after question 15,
right. You're gonna be on cooperative while you're sitting there bleeding out.
or are you going to send somebody or not? They're kicking in my neighbor house. Well, you know what? Now, they gone now. This thing. So anyway, um, that that is an issue. So when we do catch them in their juveniles, they go back out. And I don't think there's, like you said, there's not an answer to that right now. And let me say, we got great leadership of the juvenile division program. One thing, I think our center's too small. That's one of the biggest reasons. But Elvin Gonzalez is terrific at what he does.
Yeah,
He's brought
yes, he is.
programs. He has brought diversion programs. I think he's a great leader. He's database. So I know he's got to be pulling like us, pulling what left of his hair out too, looking at these numbers because again, you look at it, look like we ain't doing our job, and we are. But when the proliferation of this on TikTok and social media and it's fun, makes it difficult. But I want to. So I did great. I went down and looked at our home invasion reports from that what we just talked about from October 1st to now. And you're correct. What I'm saying is now is you're correct. It's not no longer just simply the Hyundais and the Kias. It's all type of cars. So, for example,
Hmm.
I have a Hyundai Elantra. I got a Kia Forte. I got a Chevy van, a 2009 Chevy van. I got a 2009 Ford pickup, a 2018 Malibu, a 2008 GMC Acadia, a 2008 Ford Taurus, 2013 Dodge Ram, another Elantra, another Kia, a 2018 Chevy Traverse, a 2018 Toyota Camry, again, another Sorrento, Kia, another Ford. I don't know if it's Ford or Forte. I don't know. So what they're doing, boys and girls, is you got different groups of these youth, and the thing is, we're getting calls on, hey, there's a suspicious person in my neighborhood. He's walking around with a hood, gray hood, a sweatshirt with a flashlight, or whatever.
Don't forget the most important point. Most of the time, they have backpacks because they need to carry the tools and or the goods to be, on them as they go around from vehicle to vehicle.
Yes, absolutely correct. So if you see somebody out, if it's late at night, because all these are late at night in the cover of darkness, if you see something that makes your kind of spider sense tingle, if you will, or doesn't sit quite right, it's probably not. I tell people, trust your gut. If you feel like something just ain't quite right, it probably isn't.
That's
Call
right.
us. Call us. If you're seeing something in action, call us. But you're absolutely correct, Chief. They walk around, in groups. It might be two or three of them. It might be just one, but these
Hmm.
are different groups of people. These aren't like an organized band or one group or one person hitting the entire city, the whole nine, the whole 49022. These are different juveniles that are just trying it. So what they're doing, the reason why you see and you hear us, Ben Harbor, talk about uh, stolen vehicles and burglarized vehicles is because what they're doing is going walking around and they're just testing doorknobs.
Hmm.
If they open, they try them. If it's the Kia or the Hyundai, they'll break the back passenger window to crawl in to go on the driver's side. And here's what I think why they're doing that. So if they're seen driving a car, you don't want to have a window that's on the left side be broken because that would jump out to us, especially if it's,
Right.
if it's, if it's chilly. So that's why I think they're doing the side away from where an officer might be.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're just checking windows. So when they check a door, and maybe it's not a car they want to steal, they're rummaging through it. I'm seeing a ton of change being stolen, purses being stolen. They're what we call smash and grabs. And
Right.
Chief, you were talking about smash and grabs before we got started. Talk about smash and grabs real quick, and I'll get back and I'll finish up what I was saying. We can get out of here.
Well, smash and grabs is simple. It's as stated. A smash and grab is when it's a quick theft of an item. It can be from a home or it can be from a business or a vehicle.
Mhm.
If an item is spotted immediately that seems to be of value, the person or the suspect, whatever you want to call them, will normally smash the window out quickly, grab that
Right.
item, and they're off and gone within seconds.
Right.
That's what we call a smash and grab, and they have something of value most of the time.
Yes. And generally, in my experience, smash and grabs are predominantly people that have on drugs. So um, let's talk about some things. Continue our discussion on how you can help protect yourself from being victimized to reduce your victimization. So, Chief Abrams, and I'm sure if you went through and just did a quick scan of your reports, you find this too. So, Ben Harbor, and again, I don't know, we don't have as many on today as we normally have. Please share this. But this is absolutely important, guys. Absolutely important. Do not keep valuable documents in your car. Let me say it again, and please share this. Maybe we send this over to Moan so they can put on 49022. Do not have valuable documents. Well, what do you mean, Chief? So one of our burglaries that occurred had the titles to all his vehicles. He had two other vehicles. So he had three vehicles total. He had all the original titles in the glove box.
Mm.
What do you think they stole, Chief? The titles.
Titles.
Do not put titles in your car. Don't put social security numbers in your car. Had another break in, Chief Abrams, where a person had all the family's birth certificates in the car.
Oh my goodness. Can we say identity theft?
Can we say identity theft? Do not have titles and birth certificates just in your car, stored in your car. That's not the place for them. That is asking for so much trouble. Your car might be broken into, but that could lead to a whole bunch of other things: false
A lot of
accounts,
problems.
identity thefts, craziness. Here's like we had one was warming up his car. The keys were in the ignition, and it was stolen because he was warming his car up. Had some tools in there. All right, so we're saying don't keep valuable things in your vehicle. However, if you are a working man and your vehicle is your office, i.e., you're a carpenter or a plumber or whatever, then I get it. You're not going to take all your tools out every time you go home. Here's what we suggest, especially if you have an older model car and you're going to go out to warm up your car. At least have a second set of keys and lock your door. Again, this is light security, but lock your door with your second set of keys. So when you go out there, yeah, your keys might be inside, and hopefully, if it's a key fob, it's really not gonna matter. But if your keys are inside, at least you can lock the door, provide some type of barrier, and then open it up when you need to go out there. So warming up cars is definitely a problem.
That's
There's
a huge
another
problem.
Yeah, there's another had a Toyota Camry where unfortunately this wonderful citizen had left her purse in the car that had the keys in the purse to the car.
Mm.
So, Benton Harbor, please, men, don't keep your wallets in your cars. Women, don't keep your purses in your cars. It might be a small inconvenience. Take that in with you. And for goodness sakes, please do not leave your keys in your car, because that they'll just push the button, start it right up, off they go. All right. So, and again, if you and we've had some cars that have been stolen for us, Chief, parked in driveways, sometimes deep in the driveway. There's one complaint I looked at in a video I followed up with, where it had them been about 30 to 40 feet that they walked into the yard, to the backyard, because it's a long driveway, and stole the car. So that goes back to what I said about having, if you can, get some floodlights and motion lights. So somebody tries to walk to the back of your car or back of your driveway, boom, lights come on. You know what? Off to the next. All right. So Benton Harbor, please
Can I preach one? Can I preach one a little bit better than that one?
go ahead,
For
sir,
those
and
who
you
had
can
their
take us out of
vehicles
here.
stolen. So, when I was trying to figure out this whole thing about stolen Kias and Hyundais, I came up with the steering wheel lock giveaway program.
Yes.
Great program. I still got 10 locks I still have to give away for our Hyundai and Kia owners who had their vehicle stolen. But another part of that program was for those who had their car stolen and feel that it might happen again. If you have an Apple phone, buy an Apple tag. Hide that Apple tag in your vehicle. Your car gets stolen, you get notified by your Apple tag. Boom, you can track your vehicle. Google users or Android phone users, get you a Google tag. Put that in your car. It doesn't cost you anything. And if something happens and your vehicle is missing, is gone, you might even just forgot where you parked at. That Google tag or Apple tag will tell you where your vehicle's at. You'll be able to real time track the movement of your vehicle. These items are cheap. They're easy to hide in a vehicle, and they're easy to operate from your phone. That is probably one of the most best items I think anybody can buy who's been victimized of a car theft, who's had their car stolen. And these things work on anything. You can really track your car down to like a couple 100 feet. I mean, you can't beat that.
That's awesome, and that's why
It
you did
is.
cheap. I would have never. I'm old, and I wouldn't have thought of that.
No, I'm old, but these things do work. Apple
Yeah,
tags and Google AirTags, they do work, and it doesn't really. What is it? 20, $30 connected to your phone, and now you have real time location, data on your phone for where your vehicle is at. I mean, you just can't beat that.
that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. That is absolutely a great recommendation, and you definitely did the top my basic ones. That was a very good one, and I like that. Um, Sometimes in order to protect yourself, it's got to be a small investment. So
Yeah,
that is absolutely phenomenal. And there's some other things we can talk about and go on and on about, and I don't want to make this much longer than it already is. But we want to make sure that you're protecting yourselves. The steering wheel locks were tremendous. That Chief has that program was awesome. So he's got to step up on us over here on this side of fair. It's fantastic. The Apple Tech. So it's like right now you up 14-0 in the first quarter.
yeah. First quarter. I don't know about that, but I do have some good news to leave our viewing
Yeah,
audience on
let's do that.
whenever you're ready. Um, so I talked with one of my detectives. Once again, your detectives, my detectives, man, they gel so well together, and when they come together to solve a crime, they get it done. Right now, we're batting between your department, and my department, man, with shootings. We're batting 100%. We pretty much identified and or caught everybody that was involved in the gun crime. So, in saying that, I'm gonna read a few things. On November 2nd, 2024, at 8:52 hours, a juvenile was caught breaking into cars and attempting to steal them in front of 1090 Highland. The juvenile was arrested and a firearm was recovered. Okay, so that good news. November 6th, several juveniles were located by Bend Township officers and the sheriff deputies by Bell Tire uh, inside of a stolen vehicle out of St. Joe County, Indiana.
Yep.
We got some worldwide players here, don't we?
Yeah.
All three kids fled from the scene, but were caught shortly thereafter.
Yes.
Once again, we had a shooting in the ravine. So on November 2nd must have just been the day. Um,
You're
at
right.
20, yeah, 23:15 hours, a delivery driver was called to the ravines to deliver a New York fried chicken order. Upon arrival, he was approached by five guys, mostly teenagers, wearing masks. Most of the males were armed with guns. Once the driver was robbed of his chicken and his belongings, that one must have been some good chicken. He attempted to get away and was struck in the leg. Okay. Um, these guys have been identified. Um, and we think the same group of guys were shot someone else in the near Crystal and Lillian. Guy was struck. Male was struck in the hand and ribs. We believe it was the same group. So we're solving these crimes.
Yeah.
I mean, this tells the story. Our detectives are doing great work, and I just think we just got to keep it up, keep doing the good work that God has set us to do.
That is absolutely awesome, Chief. So we got to, I guess, I coined a phrase inadvertently over here, and simply is what you just said. We are Ben Harbor. That's how we roll.
Yes, that's how we roll.
That's how we roll. So that is good news. And yeah, again, this is probably getting us off the handle day because we have obviously similar success stories, and I'm just kind of that's what we do. So I didn't this kind of superseded in my mind, but yeah, we're making it happen. We got good guys, and they're tracking down, they're getting these stolen vehicles, they're grabbing guys and making arrests, and we just need the whole system to work for us. So,
Yes.
um, well,
Did
I
you
feel
see that? You see the tripping with Dre and Michelle? He commented on the air tags. He said you can get a pack of four for $69.
oh really? Oh
Apple
yeah,
Air.
dude.
Yep.
You know what? Bingo.
He said I hide them on your lawnmower, put them on your bicycles. Anything that can be stolen and driven away or rolled away or just taken away, get you some air tags. I don't know if you can. There's a limit, on how many you can put on under one frequency or whatever you want to call it on your phone, but you can get quite a few. And it's just hiding them through a lot of your expensive items, man. It's a cheap way to track your expensive items.
That is, yeah, that is great. And there's some other stuff. Maybe next week I'll come with some other things we had before. Because there's a program that you have. They call it like property DNA,
Hmm.
where you make this label, and for every vehicle or forever, not vehicle, but any property you own has its own individual like code. So you put on
Okay.
your big ticket items and whatnot. One of the things I want to say, hey, cuz Dre's my cousin. Praise
Okay.
the Lord, how you doing? Good to see you. And he says that there is no limit. We hide them in our okay. Well, I don't put his business out there. Protect himself. He hides them in places.
You
That's
had
good.
to. Good. Yep.
Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, here's another thing. One last thing, because Chief, you mentioned Christmas coming up and gifts. One of the things also, criminals watch trash. Criminals
That's,
watch trash.
that's right.
So when you replace your 55-inch TV with your 80-inch, don't put the TV box on the front 2 days before your trash. Matter of fact, what I do personally, and there's a lot of work, and it sometimes might give you blisters. Anytime I buy something big, I tear the box up all the way down to pieces and put it inside the trash can.
Yep.
Because when you have a
Exactly.
big box of something, a TV box or a stereo box or a soundbar box, people see that like, oh, okay, yeah, they got some new stuff in there.
You just
Especially when
told all your business.
you just
You just
told
told all
all
your
your
business.
business.
Yes, you
So be
did.
mindful of that. If nothing else, maybe at minimum, keep it in your basement or keep it inside. And on the day of trash, take it out. I will say, generally, statistically, most burglars aren't walking around in the morning when our trash pickup is. So you might be a little safer there, but do not put it out there by your trash can too early. Those type of items. So,
Sounds
well,
good.
Chief Abrams, we'll call it trips here. He said curb advertising. That's exactly that's
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
that's exactly it.
Look
That's
look
exactly it.
what I got. Well, they gonna get what you
So,
got if you put it out there too soon.
mm, so we last week when it come on, usually, I mean, things happen where we both get tied up or whatever. We'll talk more on if we want to make this every couple of weeks or every week.
Okay.
All right, now we're gonna let the folks off. It's already 53 minutes now. So Ben Harbor, it's a blessing to be here with you. I thank God He's allowed me to serve the city in the capacities that He has. I thank God for my brother over there who's trying to get him a fancy goatee looking
No
like
shade November.
a
That's gonna fund my Christmas gift baskets for next month for those families.
oh, it's No Shave November.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't
Yep.
know that. Well, unfortunately, we can't do that because we're firefighters.
And also the Moose Lodge donated some community funds so I can further make those gift baskets a little bit better. So yeah, I'll be putting more out about that a little bit later, but that's it's coming up.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Ben Harbor, you guys be blessed. Please share this show with your friends, your family. We want to see you protected. We talked about a lot of things to protect yourselves, and you will see a change in the future because we don't like what we're saying. We're gonna solve it. You got my
Right.
word on that. So we're not just talking about these things. We're gonna figure out how to fix them too. So until next time, Ben Arbor, you've been chat with the chief with myself, Director McGinnis. I didn't even flash our. I was so flustered. I didn't put our names up. I didn't put our numbers. Y'all know where we are.
Yes,
And
right.
Chief Abrams, man, who is doing a fantastic job. You're
Thank
doing a
you.
great job. You look terrific. I saw your wife last week. She's so sweet and wonderful. And having good wives will make this job more palatable, we'll say.
Yes, it will.
All right, Ben Harbor. Hey, till next time, same bat channel, same bat time. You all be blessed and protect yourself. And if you see something, say
Say
something.
something.